Welcome back to X Games Los Angeles. We are inside the Staples Center, and it is time for Sony Moto X Step Up. Cameron Steele here alongside Tess Sewell and 7-time Supercross champion, if you didn't know it already, Jeremy McGrath. And we are going to bring you what I think is one of the easiest competitions to understand and also the most thrilling. It's a high jump for dirt bikes. And for more on the dirt, we're going to go to the 4th member of our broadcast team right out of the gate. Get it down to Aaron Bates.
Thanks, guys. Well, it's simply the law of physics. What goes up must come down, and the goal here at X Games is always to go a little bit bigger, and that's why the course designers built the takeoff lip and landing bigger than ever before. Last year, the takeoff lip was at 12 feet. This year, it stands at 16 feet. The landing, 16 feet last year. This year at 20 feet. Both the lip and landing are 3 degrees steeper than they were last year, which means it should allow for these riders to have a little more finesse in midair and allow for better trajectory over the bar. We'll see who's able to step up and take this competition to all new heights. Guys?
Aaron, I'm just a little bit frightened when you say 16-foot tall takeoff. These are your riders. Of course, Miles Richmond, and this one's going to be a little tough. Massimo Bianconcini is what his name is, I believe, from Italy, his first time ever. Brian Deegan, Todd Potter, Ronnie Renner, and Matt Byton. Now, straight up, I gotta tell you, Renner and Byton are always the favorites. Those guys, they're sharing some gold medals. Byton has 4, Renner has 2. Renner also has 2 bronze from the days when they used to hand out other medals. Brian Deegan also has 2 bronze. This is Miles Richmond from Cherry Valley, California. Tess, this is an incredible competition. They're starting at 32 feet high, the bar. Can you explain?
Well, 32 feet is measured from the floor of the Staples Center, so obviously they're going off the takeoff, which is 16 feet high, but it's all about the fact that if you're at 32 feet, that means it's like jumping your motorcycle out of a 3-story window onto the ground, and you've experienced this more than once, right, Jeremy?
Yes, this step-up competition is crazy. I mean, these guys, the low bar at first is pretty reasonable, but when these guys start getting really high, the landing becomes really tricky.
Okay, and we're going to get right into some rules. Now, Tess, you wrote the original rules for the step up, so I think no one better than you to explain what just happened to Massimo and what's going to happen.
We are now in what is called a double elimination round. That means that every rider gets 2 attempts. Watch here, Massimo goes up the face, super high, but not enough forward trajectory. The back wheel just clips the bar. He now gets to reload and take another hit. If he knocks it off again, he's out of the competition, and it was an awful long ride from Italy for nothing.
And just in case he goes out of the competition, he is the first European competitor in the Sony Step Up competition. There has been one other international rider from French Canada, Benoit Melot, in 2003. How did I do pronouncing his name, by the way, earlier, Tess?
Yes, Bianconcini.
I know you have this thing about your pronunciations, but you travel all over the world all the time, so I don't think it's fair. If he hits it, he's out.
Wow. Massimo not messing around.
No, he went plenty high that time. Remember, this guy has actually cleared 37.72 feet at an event in Torino, Italy, but the setup, not necessarily the same as it is here.
And pretty much all the records are out the window because they're changing the face of the jump.
Right.
It's taller now. We're getting our first look at the general from the Metal Militia, Brian Deegan.
Is he a car driver?
He's a race car driver.
Yeah.
You can tweet at MMGeneral and tweet what you guys are thinking. Throw a little hashtag X Games in there. Let's have a little bit of fun. Brian Deegan.
Nice.
Here's the thing about Deegs. He's got lots of bike skill, but sometimes you wonder how committed he really is because, as you said, his job now is as a race car driver. I mean, he just won 3 of 4 races last weekend.
And he's a phenomenal race car driver. I mean, the guy is so gifted when he's driving, but it's great to see him back on the bike.
Yeah, well, his first passion is moto. That's what he started out as a kid, and we won't lose him on that part of it. He's going to charge the bar here.
The irony of Jeremy McGrath announcing Brian Deegan, I mean, go back to 1997. He was kind of a maniac. He won his first ever Supercross. I mean, You guys weren't really seeing it all the same as Todd Potter struggles a little bit. We have to tell you about Todd Potter. He has some sore parts.
Looks like he's feeling it a little bit.
Elbow, there the leg popped off. He had a crash in practice where I think he might have been fooling around. He went to do a backflip up off the face and it caught him.
Yeah, I think he over-rotated a little bit. Ended up belly flopping on the deck of the step-up, which, you know, who knows how high he was. That's not a good position to be in.
Ronnie,
Whoa,
who's
really
your
high.
daddy, Renner?
Yeah,
Clearly one of the favorites.
clearly.
And Renner has switched back and forth on equipment some. Been on the KTM for a long time, but I'm talking about different types of machinery, choosing to ride the 4-stroke this time. Matt Byton. For many years, we struggled to say by 10 because that's how he has to pronounce it. Now he says he's okay with Matt Byton. And you can tweet him at Matt Byton. And you can tweet Jeremy McGrath at Jeremy McGrath. Those are so easy.
Yeah.
Why did I pick one that was so hard? Why did I mean, I'm confused. Look at this, Byton. Should be no problem. You need to know this. He was your gold medalist last year and the year before. And he has a sore right shoulder from a crash practicing at home last week. Jeremy, you're a gold medalist in this discipline.
Yes.
Which seems like eons ago, doesn't it?
It was eon ago.
Why don't you want to do it anymore?
You know what?
Did I put you on the spot?
I'm a fan of the sport. I'm a fan of X Games. I'm a fan of Step Up. And I just like watching these guys. You know, the landing is super hard. I did it a few times. I achieved gold. And yeah, I feel like I could be out there, but I'd rather be here with you guys.
Yeah, what about a little social alert as we get the bar back in place? Hashtag X Games. It's now trending number one worldwide. Join in the madness, and thank you for making X Games number one.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to tweet it. I saw it earlier. We were talking about Snoop Dogg tweeting about the best whip competition.
Yeah, that was so cool.
It's no surprise Jeremy gets the gold in Best Whip when he's got Snoop Dogg tweeting about him and he's riding a gold bike.
Yeah,
True that.
that's classic.
Now, Miles Richmond came in as an alternate. Mike Mason originally had the spot, but he chose to acquiesce the position to Miles Richmond. I assume we're going to see Mike Mason later on in the speed style competition. Is that correct?
That is correct. Well, we expected to see him here, but the story is he's coming back for speed and style. He really wants to focus on that and try and get the gold that he missed last year.
Does the Italian have what it takes from what you've seen so far? Stop it.
I can tell you this.
Uh-oh, not far enough out.
Whoa. You know what? He seat bounced it that time.
I heard he's been doing a lot of seat bouncing.
Yeah, well, what that does and what that means at home, you guys, seat bouncing is he took off, he stayed on the seat all the way up the face. And what that's going to do, that's going to throw him a lot higher. And
we'd like to welcome everybody back inside the Staples Center. We apologize for some technical difficulties. Obviously, we are live, and this is the Sony Step Up, or Sony Moto X Step Up. We're in the second runs, and we have raised the bar to 36 feet, and we have exited one rider of the 6 test. Massimo Bianconcini, I'm working on it. You're doing good. Was not able to get over that height. Brian Deegan getting over 36 feet, and that is the highest Brian Deegan has ever gone in the step up. And speaking of Deegs, let's check in with Aaron Bates, who's got a little dirt.
Thank you, Cam. Well, 2 bronze medals for Brian Deegan, but he has never taken home the step-up gold. He said it is something that has eaten away at him, and he wants to put it to rest. He said he's gone to bed every night thinking about it since 1999, and he's been practicing a step-up at home, but there's nothing like the real deal here at X Games.
I believe that he told Aaron that, but I don't believe he's been going to bed since 1999 thinking about this step-up. Now, Brian Deegan is a character, and he'll give you a little bit of a story, but like I said, car racing, a big part of what he's doing. We talked about
That's what you were talking about, nose high.
Let's clarify the rules, Mr. Rule Riding Tessul. You got to ride away from it.
You have to ride away. Just getting over the bar is not enough. So he definitely got over the bar, but see how high that nose is, and everything just gets ripped right out of his hand. So reload Todd Potter.
Now, I got to ask you, Jeremy, we talked to Todd Potter before the comp, and we talked about the recluse clutch and how much traction he's getting. I know he's trying different stuff. He has the luxury of being a factory Honda rider like you, the Johnny Campbell Racing Team deciding to send a tech, help him build the bike. As we take a look at the impact, just vicious. Do you think maybe he's just getting too much traction in this short area, or do you think it was a bad setup?
I think it was a great run. I mean, we saw him clear the bar, no problem. However, he did exactly what you talked about earlier, landing front end high, and the inertia of the front end coming down just jerked his hands off the bar.
Are you surprised that he kept the front end so high and didn't hit that brake? He didn't bring the bike down.
It looked like in the middle of the run, up top, when he was at his highest height, that he was kind of keeping the nose up to make sure he made the bar. Now, hindsight's always 20/20, but he probably should have let the front end come back down.
But tapping that brake would have actually brought the front of the bike down a little, right?
Well, it doesn't necessarily
Hopefully.
mean that. If you tap the brake at your highest point, there's no more inertia, right? So you're not going to be able to bring the front end down.
And his tech, Eric Sierraton, running the mustache. Todd Potter has one heck of a mustache, and fans, he handed out like, I don't know, thousands of them. Fans all over wearing the mustaches, and I got to give a shout out. Todd Potter on the back of his helmet is running a tribute to fallen riders of freestyle motocross, and much respect for that. I do want to say that this year we did lose Jim McNeil, sadly, one of our longtime riders here at the X Games. He's no longer with us. Todd Potter doing it with respect, Tess and Jeremy. I think it's great. Again, the design of the back of the helmet. Now back to the rules. The rules state you can take a run in, but if you don't go off the lip, you can come back, correct?
Well, he really there just got into the transition and rolled back out. So I think he's trying to find the perfect point of traction. And we did actually go down and, you know, we were talking to Todd about what line he wanted. I wonder if he's feeling he needs to change that line now, Jeremy.
Well, nope.
No!
He's still in the line.
Hey, listen, here's what happened. It looked like to me, guys, on that takeoff, he kind of went, and then he didn't want to go. He hesitated a little bit. And like you said, Tess, we walked down there. There's plenty of traction. He is running this different style recluse clutch. I'm not sure how much time he has on it, but he looked a little scattered on that run right there.
Here's the run in.
See, and to me, the takeoff for him, he kind of hesitated, so maybe that's something to do with the setup.
Well, the thing is that you can attest to this, Jeremy. Oh,
Just touched it. Oh, so close.
It's not easy to switch around motorcycles, and he was riding a different motorcycle in the best whip competition, which we just saw. Then he's jumping on this cold. He doesn't have any extra real run-ins. There's the mustache.
It makes it difficult, for sure. He's switching around bikes. That was a half an hour ago, and now he's on his step-up bike. Different deal.
For those of you watching Sony Step Up at home, Ronnie Renner is a bad dude when it comes to the step up competition.
Strong tonight.
Wow, we know he's got this dialed.
I do also want to mention that one of the most amazing and most frightening competitions that we see all year, the best trick competition, is coming up later tonight here at X Games. And rumors of new style body varials, a 720.
Oh. Yeah, it's terrifying. It is so terrifying. Matt Buyten, wow, nose high, but he chooses to kick that thing down.
He corrects it.
But
he did.
And
the best trick tonight, I think, is going to be just epic. I guarantee you do not want to miss it.
We're through the first 2 rounds. 2 of 6 are gone. We'll see who wins it when we return here to the Staples Center at X Games Los Angeles. Guess what? It's the Sony Moto X Step Up inside the Staples Center. The Los Angeles Kings use the ice here to go for a Stanley Cup and get it done. Taka Higashino getting the gold done last night in Freestyle Moto X.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jeremy Stenberg getting the best whip competition gold done Props to Jared McNeil and Todd Potter for silver and bronze. The height, if they clear this, will be a new X Games record. But as we said, the step-up lip's a little taller, it's a little different, but the bottom line is this is the highest they've ever gone at the X Games.
Wow.
I don't think I've...
Ow.
Miles going way
right.
over the falls there.
I don't think that I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, I've never seen that either. Miles Richmond, you guys clearing the bar, no problem, but something happened. Did you guys hear the bike? Did it stall or anything?
That's what I was wondering.
That would throw the bike into an endo. Let's just hope he's all right. You know, I noticed on the starting line there, he started to the left and was using a new line. So maybe that had something to do with it, but let's just hope he's all right there.
Of course, X Games medical staff right on it. Unbelievable group of people to take care of the athletes here. Miles Richmond from Cherry Valley, California, being evaluated. And we will step away for a moment and just hope that Miles is A-okay. We'll be back in just a minute. Miles Richmond saluting the fans as he leaves the Staples Center floor with help from X Games Medical. His wife walking on with him. Let's take a look here. Sony Step Up in progress. Let's not just look, but let's listen. Jeremy McGrath, you speculated that the bike shut off on him, and it sounds like it stalled.
Yeah, you know, this is what happens, you guys, at home. When you jump in the air, what he was trying to do was push the rear brake pedal to bring the front down. So he was trying to do that when he cleared the bar. However, he stalled it. You can see his right wrist there giving a throttle. If you do that, it typically would bring the front end back up because of the inertia with the engine. However, the bike stalled, it threw it into an endo, he had to jump off.
Very unfortunate for Miles, and of course, never want to see anybody crash. It also is going to rattle the other competitors. And just so you know, Day 3 of X Games Los Angeles continues tomorrow on ABC and ESPN. BMX Park kicks off the day on ABC at 1 Eastern. That is a sitcom. Do not miss it. At 3 p.m. on ESPN, check out the first round of the men's skate park. And at 9 p.m., it's men's skate vert on ESPN. You got to love the vert contest. All the boys jamming. It's a full day of X Games Los Angeles tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ABC, and then at 3 and 9 Eastern on ESPN. And Brian Deegan gonna carry on the competition. We'll get you an update on Miles Richmond when we can. Brian Deegan at 38 feet. Wow, way over. Brian Deegan sets the new record for X Games at 38 feet. How about that? As step-up expert commentators, would you have thought he would be the one to take it to the new level?
Deegan getting over the bar very easily right there.
He is such a great dirt bike rider, and I think, Tess, you're right that he's applying himself to this step-up.
No, it's a big surprise to get out of that car, come back on the bike, and feel just so comfortable with it. Remember, I mean, 38 feet, that's almost a 4-story building that you're falling out of. But we have 3 veterans of the sport in Deegan, Renner, and Byton still duking it out here. I think we may get over 40 feet tonight.
Yeah, this competition's gonna get crazy. These guys are in what I would call the danger zone. And that lip tonight, you guys, the lip tonight is big, and these guys are gonna be sending it.
I'm worried if the poles are big enough.
You know what, watching that, it looks like the lip and the setup is very much to Ronnie Renner's liking. Take a look, cool, calm, collected, whipping it. He's good 5 feet over the top of the bar.
Easily.
He's so easily over that bar, but you see how hard that landing was.
And I wonder how the suspension setup is here, because obviously you fall that far, and you can see he seemed pretty comfortable when he let go of the bike, but it's just gonna get harder as the night wears on.
Well, I can tell you this, when you start getting up that high, that landing suddenly looks flat. And it feels flat, believe it or not.
Oh, very nose high, but Byton gets it under control.
But that's what he's doing. That's That's his method this year. It's interesting. Renner's got that real whip style, but Biton's just going vertical.
Yeah, in the past, you've seen Renner very good at the whip style. And Biton running this style.
He's still going up.
Yeah,
Holy wow. He is like, these guys are another 6 feet to go.
they have a lot of room to grow here.
Brian Deegan, Ronnie Renner, Matt Biton, 39 feet. They have already set a new X Games record. 3 riders still to go. And I do have an update for you on Miles Richmond. They're evaluating his left femur and his right ankle, and he is being transported to a local area hospital. We'll get you more as we get it. Deegan, 39 feet. I think he's got this. I don't think it really gets that dirty for these 3 guys until we're at 40 or more.
Yeah, these guys are going to get high. This is a lot of room to grow here.
And in the past, it might be different with this lip. It hasn't been necessarily the height, but the front wheel starts driving into the pole. It's hard to get the height early enough to get over that. And Brian Deegan, did he tap it?
He went up, then he kind of just sucked the bike up at the last minute.
Yeah, and you know what happens? I think sometimes it's the luck of the draw where the bar ends up. But I can tell you this, Brian looks really comfortable getting over that bar, and he is getting the most forward distance. And that sometimes, you know, that can make the difference in the competition.
And you saw when he landed there how he kind of collapsed towards the bars. That's a real concern, that at some point you just basically shoves your head right down onto that bar pad.
And Potter watching on, you can see the mustache now there. This is Ronnie Renner. If I was going to say they were experts at step-up, I would definitely classify Renner and Biton as them. Yeah. And Renner he's laughing at this right now.
It looks so gentle the way he's doing that. He's just so smooth.
Just effortless.
Now, Jeremy, they have a reverse starting gate that they've got to back up against, so they can't get too big of a run in. Let's take another look at Renner. When you lock and load in that gate, I mean, it really isn't that far when you're looking at it to set up.
It's not. I think it's, Tess, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 25 feet from the gate.
Yeah, and that is a very short run-up, but they seem to be getting a lot of traction tonight. This dirt is excellent.
It is. Very good traction, and typically by the time they take off, they're just letting the clutch out.
And it looked like a miscue for Biton, and he gets it handled. And you'll notice Matt Biton's bike, all blue, riding the Step Up for Autism bike, trying to raise money for the Autism MX project.
What a great cause.
I think that's a great cause. I mean, it's obviously anything you can do to help people, but I mean, very cool. Matt Biton getting it done. And he looked like he was a little off there at the beginning. And of course, the beautiful Staples Center, LA Live. So epic, you can see the Hot Wheels track. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. The tires chosen by experts for superior performance in challenging conditions. Goodyear, more driven. And tomorrow, Hot Wheels get real. Yeah. We're gonna see the 65-foot loop, the double loop dare. Greg Tracy and Tanner Faust gonna do a double loop. And guess what, people? We're 40 feet. 40 feet. This is where you start really scratching your head, huh?
Yeah, that is for sure. In the danger zone, that's for sure.
Brian is thinking, hey, I got to go defend my X Games Rally Gold on Sunday. Do I need to be doing this?
Yeah.
As we talked about, the front wheel going into the bar, but he also didn't have the height in general. He just didn't look like he had the drive.
Yeah, and you know, it gets really technical because they're trying to get the maximum speed now before they could slip a little, just like we saw Biton do on the last run.
I take it back. Deegan did have the height. He kind of ran into it.
It's going to be interesting to see. Now, is Brian going to pick a different line? Because some of these lines are steeper than others, right?
Yeah, so the left side of the ramp is steeper than the right side. Brian Deegan has missed once. He has another shot to get over 40 feet, which would be a new X Games record, of course, because we're in record territory. Don't forget, on Sunday, Brian Deegan will be looking to repeat in rally.
Remember, the important thing on this is if he misses, he's still not necessarily eliminated because Renner and Biden have to clear this height for him to be eliminated. So if he misses and hits the bar this time, he's on the bubble. But I think he's going to try for much more speed and traction.
Deegan, the only Moto X rider to ride at every X Games since Moto X joined the X Games in 1999.
Listen to this crowd.
No. Tough break for Brian Deegan. Somehow, I think he's not too upset about that. I mean, 40 feet is a vicious landing. Let's take another look. Uh-oh.
And there you saw the back wheel. The bike actually was wandering side to side, so he lost a lot of traction there.
Yeah, and the dirt is, you get good grip. These guys are getting good grip, but some of that loose marbles on there, and as we said before, when you release the clutch, if you give it a little too much, the bike's gonna want to spin sideways.
Look at the landing.
Whoa.
Very, very hard landing. Deegs is not out.
He doesn't look upset, but he's
I was saying, I don't think he's too upset about it, but he's probably pretty stoked with the third place finish.
Yeah.
I do want to mention though, back in the days of old, there were bronze medals, there were silver medals. At Step Up, because of the tie possibilities, tiebreakers, time constraints, it is gold medal only nowadays. And don't forget, of course, I mentioned Deegan jumping the rally course, and there was some drama there today.
Oh my gosh.
So, Todd Potter hanging out with Brian Deegan. And Kyle Loza getting the stretch out. He is a one-time three-peater, and the rumors are running rampant. Bike flip, 720, new body varials, best trick will be insane, and there are the jumps that they will take to after the Sony step-up competition is complete.
So if Renner gets over on this attempt, he will knock Brian Deegan out of the competition. And so far, he's looked flawless every single time.
Yeah, up to this point, he's been laughing at this bar.
Now you can see he's starting outside the starting gate, but they're using a tough block. I think they like it. Everybody but Deegan likes it.
Bye-bye, Brian.
Let's take another look. Jeremy, absolutely textbook for Renner.
Oh my gosh, just so clean, laughing at the bar.
Look how high he goes. Watch this. This is like when the shark comes out of the water. You're going to need a bigger bar.
He's got it up above the X Games boxes.
How high is that? Like 50 feet?
I don't know, but it's so high.
This is 40. He's still climbing. Still climbing.
How high is that?
I don't know. We're in new territory, as you said. Here's an interesting fact.
Let's take a look at some reactions. Potter giving him the high five. Wow, unbelievable from Ronnie Renner. And, well, right down in the mix of it is Aaron Bates. What's going on down there?
Well, guys, just 1 week on that brand new 450 KTM for Ronnie Renner, and he's feeling extremely comfortable. He didn't practice any jumping during this week, though, because he wanted to salvage his back, and it's paying off. But he just said he's been in this position before. He does not want to get ahead of himself, but he is feeling extremely comfortable.
Let us set the stage. I don't think this is going to be it, but if Biden misses, then takes a second shot and misses, Ronnie Renner gets his 6th X Games medal and his 3rd gold.
Well, right now he's looking firmly in control. And I can tell you, Matt Biden is using a different line. If you guys can see from home, he's a little bit farther to the right.
Yeah, Renner is starting outside the starting block.
To the left, correct. And using the whip style, and Biden's using the straight classic style, I would say.
What is good about that is they're both using 2 different lips. They're not going to have to worry about what the other does to the lip. Renner's been carving off the face. Biden.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
How much are they going to raise this bar? That's the real question. The pressure down on the floor now.
And not only how much are they going to raise the bar, but how much money is he going to be raising for his Autism MX project? Step up for autism here is what Byton is claiming and doing, and he is doing it well here at the Sony Step Up. Wow. If you have just joined us, it's a high jump competition for dirt bikes. Brian Deegan was just eliminated at 40 feet. He will finish third unofficially. There's no medal for that. And now, in case you're wondering, the bar is going to 42 feet. Now that is from the floor of the Staples Center, and as you just saw with Byton, he landed. I mean, he hasn't gotten run out of transition, but this is why it's measured from the floor of the Staples Center, because you could flat land it.
But if you look just at the bar now, look at that height. Look, there's a human standing to the left there. I can tell you that guy is probably about 6'2", 6'3". He looks just so tiny, and he is at the highest peak of the landing. You're going to fall way past that point.
Deegan shaking his head, and hey, xgames.com, don't be scared. Download the new app on your iPhone, your iPad, your Android. You can get video highlights, instant results, personalized schedule. I mean, there's so much to be had, and Tess Sewell, you are on it right now.
I've been using this app. I've actually been watching videos on the thing. It's just it's incredible. We were watching videos of the skateboard big air and some of those tricks while it was happening.
And you can see stuff we don't actually get on the air sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. I love this app. I got it on my phone, got it on my iPad.
I use it for the schedules. Yes!
And rides away.
These guys are in a situation right now, I can tell you this from my experience doing this event, where they're sitting on the line and they're going, I'm not sure I want to go that high.
No kidding.
Because of that landing. Look at Renner, replay here. Look at the landing.
Oh, here's my question on Renner. He drifts more and more to the left every time he comes over this. I wonder if he's going to hit the side of that landing where the step-up landing meets the best trick landing. See how far he drifted to the left?
Yeah, kind of like an alley-oop. He whips it, and the gyro kind of throws it back.
Well, speaking of whipping it and alley-oop, you guys have seen his little stunt on the quarter pipe, right? Byton.
Woo! That was close.
Man, we have a war on our hands.
We definitely have a war, and every jump is a new record.
Wow, unbelievable.
Oh, look how close that was.
Between the two of them, 6 gold medals.
He knew right there. Yeah, he knew right there that he was close with the little kind of yank it over at the end there. That was great.
The lowdown on the showdown, some information you might want. How about this? Kyle Loza. Talk about being iced. He's sitting on ice waiting for the competition, and he's had some injuries. He is healthy coming in. The rumors of a bike flip. Can you imagine sitting there waiting, and these guys are in the jump off, and you're going to do a bike flip?
And he's not flipping. The bike is flipping. He's staying upright.
Renner, 36 years of age. Tampa, Florida is his hometown. A father of 4. He is a bad dirt biker. That much I can definitely tell you. Oh, little bit of slip. Oh. At some point.
His wrists are hurting. You can tell.
Wouldn't everything be hurting?
But the adrenaline is running, and he's smoking it. He's going over the bar. It's awesome.
My adrenaline is running, and I'm not even on a dirt bike, thankfully. 43 feet. Take a look at Renner. Gosh.
And really, he engages it on the face there. You can see the drive the bike gets up the face, but every time he lands, the hand comes off.
Yeah, I mean, right now, he's in the air. He's going to land. He's like, how can I make this a little happier? I mean, look at that crushing blow.
The compression.
Oh, yeah, shaking out those hands. This is just getting harder and harder each time, but he's cleared it. Byton now has to clear this thing. And he
You know
was
what?
close.
Yeah, last time, it's interesting, last time on Biden's takeoff, it looks like it has a little hook in the top of the face, so we're gonna see what happens with it right here.
43 feet. Holy. Wow. We're going up, people. We're going up.
Wow.
And just so you know, if it ever came down to it, the number of attempts could play in, but they're tied at number of attempts. They've cleared it every time each. Matt Biden, 32 years of age, getting work done.
Wow.
Jeremy, I have to ask you, the straight over style seems a little more risky at these heights, but his landings actually look better than Renner's.
Well, it would seem that it'd be a little bit safer to be more straight on the landing. Now, Renner, once he goes up and he's sideways, he has to kind of whip the bike back straight and pull off the landing. Biden, it looked like he moved lines a little bit to the left, and 2 runs ago, I would have said, man, it looks like he might be in trouble. But with that last run, I mean, he just killed it right there.
What's really interesting is if you think about the arc that Renner is taking, because of the whip, it's a much longer arc. Whereas Biden is so vertical, it's a very short little peak at the top. So I think that's why he's landing higher up the landing.
And they're using the lockdown on the front of the bikes for the start. Did you use that when you were doing step up?
I did not use it. I tried it, but the funny thing is that what the lockdown is, you guys, is there's a little notch and you push down the forks and it kind of holds the front down a little bit lower, so when you take off, you can get over the front, get that clutch released and get going. I didn't use it. I thought it was kind of it felt kind of funny going into the face.
Now you can see, there you see him pulling the front of the bike down. His tech, Mario, helping him pull down the front of the bike into the lockdown position. Now you can see that he's outside of that starting gate because he wants that left line, and we have other people there, officials, I'm assuming, making sure he doesn't have any extra run-in. Ronnie, who's your daddy, Renner?
Oh my God.
Again! How long can his wrists hold out with this kind of punishment?
That is the 8th jump for Ronnie Renner. It must feel like about 100. They're 44 feet. It's insane. I think it's insane.
And there you see our course builder, Jesse Olsen, is brushing away those approaches. And normally by this point, the guys kind of freak a little bit about getting the marbles out of the way. But Renner, again, it looked so comfortable. He had so much space.
I mean, he attacked it super hard. Renner's leaving nothing unturned here. He's going for it every time. We've seen him clear it by 6 feet, 8 feet. The question is that wrist going to be able to hold up? I'm actually sweating because I'm very nervous for these guys.
My hands are just clammy up
me
here.
too. Very, very nervous.
So again, Biden has 2 attempts to clear the bar now to move through to another round.
And
Yes.
they're going nuts inside the Staples Center.
Wow. Yeah, it's safe
And-
to say.
You know who doesn't like hard landings? Travis Pastrana, and he's going to join us later for Best Trick. He walked out of the booth just now. He doesn't want any part of that.
Well, I don't blame him. They are not very fun.
In case you're wondering, Best Trick will come up in just a bit. Each rider with 2 shots at greatness, at the gold medal. It is an amazingly crazy competition.
This is the step up. It's supposed to be the easy part of the evening, but this is turning into a battle.
You see the mouthpiece and the neck protection that Renner is wearing. The mouthpiece, pretty key. I mean, those.
I think what a great idea. He's had that in for the last few years, and I was wondering why, but at 45 feet, I know exactly why he has that mouthpiece in.
I can't believe we're even saying that. 45 feet.
And they're still trying to do this absolutely perfect. And they're going to need longer poles, is all I've got to say. And don't forget, a champion will be crowned as Euro 2012 concludes Sunday on ESPN. There is a lot of hype going on with this. I hope you guys are watching. Spain attempts to repeat as champions when they take on Italy in the final. So, Spain-Italy, Sunday at 2:30 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN 3, and watch ESPN. Hi-yi-yi-yi-yi.
See how high that thing is? Right to the top. You see those Sony banners going up. And we're now at the top of those banners. I think, counting this, there's maybe 8 more rungs left. I can't even fathom how high those guys are going.
Could we get to 50 feet?
There is 5 more feet on
There
it.
is.
There is. And we've seen Renner go over those X Games boxes on the side. There is room to go higher.
Oh my God. Oh, that was painful. That one hurts.
He controlled the landing.
Wow. It's just getting harder and harder every time for Renner.
I think.
Oh, look at the drift. The way the bike
yeah.
drifted and the impact, it's almost like a slap.
Yeah.
You'll see it here in this slow motion.
It's kind of a little crossed up. He was a little crossed up there. And that's exactly what you were talking about, Tess. Because of the alley-oop, the bike moves to the left. It's a little more of an awkward style landing.
And you don't need any more awkward than it already is.
No, no. Trust me on that.
Matt Bite, he has 4 golds. He is looking for the three-peat here. 2-time and defending gold medalist.
Got it.
Now he came in with a sore shoulder. For some reason, I'm having a hard time saying it's sore shoulder. But did you see the look on Renner's face? It almost looks like he doesn't want to go anymore.
Well, it's safe to say he's probably going to leave this event with a sore shoulder. Still.
It's hard for you to say it, too.
It is. It is.
Oh, you see how close he got there? I think this one's going to get tougher as it goes up 1 more feet.
If you're enjoying yourself, don't be afraid to tweet it. Hashtag X Games. Let's get down to Aaron and find out what the heck is really going through these guys' minds.
Well, I just asked Ronnie Renner what is going through his mind, and he said, I am wincing in pain. Everything that could hurt does hurt right now. But he said this is deja vu from the last couple of years between him and Matt Biden. He has come too far to walk away without this gold medal tonight.
And Aaron, you bring up a good point. It has been head-to-head warfare between Biden and Renner. 2010, 2011, and 2012, they battled out head-to-head at the end of the step-up competition. Tonight, the Sony step-up, the height has risen to 46 feet in test, going all the way back to the Costa Mesa Fairgrounds in 1998. The first ever step-up competition. Wasn't anything like this, but could you even fathom for 1 second? Tommy Clower's your first ever winner, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was Tommy, yes. And
that's a lot of time to think back, but the Tomcat, an ace at the step-up for so many years, not competing here, but these 2 riders have really taken it to a whole other level.
And there you see Kyle Loza is looking on, and he's going to attempt something incredible later on tonight in Moto X Best Trick.
We're also going to possibly see something brand new. You saw standing next to him Jackson Strong, simply known as Jacko. And he has an all-new trick that he will be unveiling.
Now the real question is, Jeremy, you think there's a danger that his wrist, that his hand could blow off the bar in landing if he loses the strength?
Wow. That one seemed better landing-wise, but his foot popped off, but all good.
I would wonder how many G's these guys are pulling when they land that bike.
We've been talking about G-forces because of the Hot Wheels event. They're talking 7 G's when they're inverted tomorrow. But this has got, I mean...
Renner's style is textbook. I mean, he's going over, but you can see at his highest height right there, he knows, okay, I made it. Now he's going, oh no, let's get ready for this landing.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to take that maybe a little more in his legs instead of taking it all in the wrist.
Jamie Beswick throwing down a little tweet action, hashtag X Games. Yeah, it is insane. Speaking of insane, Jamie Bestwick's going for a 6-peat tomorrow. Jamie Bestwick is just straight up gnarly.
Yeah, Jamie Bestwick has it down in the vert competition.
And when you see Jamie walking around, hey, what's up? He's just like the calmest, coolest character. Fighting.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. Every run these guys take, this has to hurt so bad on the landing.
And you can see now both of these guys are feeling it.
Travis Pastrana sitting next to me going, what is going on? Wow.
I remember once Travis tried a step-up competition, didn't fare so well, so he's seen the downside of this too. Oh yeah, you saw the impact.
You know, the question's gonna come in here. I mean, look at the style, just perfect. The question is going to come in, are these bikes going to be able to handle this kind of impact time after time?
And you see in the slow motion that when the forks just compress so fully, that fender just is like dragging on the tire.
We talked about it a little bit earlier. Tomas Heikkinen, unbelievable crash. Rally testing the jump. And not only a vicious impact, but then as a race car driver, I can tell you the thing you fear even more than crashing, and Jeremy McGrath can attest to this as well. Unbelievable images.
Yeah, fire is not good.
Fire is not good, and just the damage, he didn't case it, he nosed into it.
The entire ramp, thousands and thousands of pounds of steel moved.
And an update, he sustained a left ankle fracture in his crash. Tests on his head, chest, abdomen, back, pelvis are all negative.
Amazing.
Injuries are isolated to his left ankle, and that rally is coming on Sunday. Brian Deegan's thinking about that while he's riding Step Up. And that was a scary moment.
Brian Deegan is thinking, oh man, thank you for not having me still in this competition at 47 feet.
And we'll talk a little bit later to Travis Pastrana, who's going to join us for Best Trick, about that rally competition.
Everyone at Staples is on their feet. This is amazing.
The 11th attempt.
Again!
He hurt his... He might have needed a cup on that landing.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, they've got to be wearing one with this.
You saw him there. It looked like he was walking with
Wincing.
some labor.
Wincing a little bit.
Just so we're all clear, we are 10 feet higher than last year, which was the X Games record. Let's take another look. I mean, he is so picture perfect. You can see running very low tire pressure. I asked about running airless tubes or mooses. They are not. I hear they're running actual tubes
With hardly any air.
Yeah, it looks like 8 pounds or less there.
Yeah.
So now what he's doing is he's trying to save the wrist by going up with his leg, but you see the impact there on the tailbone. And I think that's why he looked like he was limping away.
And another trick to this landing would be to keep the front wheel landing after the back wheel. So you can land the rear, the suspension kind of collapses a little, then the front takes it. If you land front and rear wheels at the same time, it's going to be a way harder impact.
The only thing I can say here is the fact that one guy doesn't win gold. Oh! Wow. The real tragedy is that both of these guys cannot walk away with the gold medal. So here's what happened. Matt Byton hit that post.
Yep.
He has knocked the bar off, so now he has to re-rack. And if he doesn't clear it the second time, Renault will be the gold medalist.
Yep, and it looks like he broke maybe his fork guard off on the landing on the impact, but as we've talked about from the Sony bar cam, he hit on the way up with the front tire, but he didn't have the height.
Yeah, what happened is you could tell he fumbled a little bit on the takeoff, didn't get the clutch out, didn't get all the traction he was looking for.
Here are the head-to-head stats. The appearances, the medals, the golds. These guys are the real deal when it comes to the step up. Wow. Ronnie Renner, simply known as Who's Your Daddy? He has thrown down the gauntlet at 47 feet. Matt Byton has taken one attempt. He has a second. If he clears it, they will raise the bar once again.
And here's the thing, is none of these competitors would ever wish failure on their fellow riders. But right now, Renner just wants this to be over. As courageous as he is, they're starting to suffer so badly. I don't know how much higher they could go.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Byton severely wants to win this competition. That is guaranteed. Look at the height these guys are going.
Back when I was a live announcer for these events,
Yeah.
I used to make fun of the poor guys that had to put the pole up.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a good time.
Here's an interesting thing. The poles they're using to put the crossbar up used to be the poles we used for step up. But now we have this really sophisticated system because the step up is simply so high that these thin poles just couldn't work anymore.
I'm starting to think that maybe they're going to have to do this from the rafters in the future. Someone's going to have to lower down and put the bar on.
We're going to have some guy suspended on a wire that just like puts the pole in place. Maybe Tom Cruise can come and do it.
I also want to mention that I don't think that we're going to be starting the bar at 32 feet anymore. I think it's going to start a little higher.
Look at that. Guy Fieri tweeting about this competition. Out of control. Yes, it is. It's absolutely insane.
Don't forget, you can tweet and get in the action. Hashtag X Games. Maybe we should hashtag Crazy Sony Step Up.
Yeah, that's for sure. We've seen Byton in this position before. He hasn't missed a bar the whole competition until the last one. I can tell you right now, he's going to give it everything he's got.
And his dad in there. Fritz.
Here we go. If Byton fails, Renner takes gold. Everyone in Staples is standing up. No one is sitting down. I suggest you do the same at home, people. This is it.
We are standing. Everybody is standing. Matt Byton from Minden, Nevada.
No! Woo!
Ronnie Renner getting it done. Unbelievable. Absolutely stunning. At 47 feet, Ronnie Renner sets the new record for X Games. Mobil 1 presents this extended performance. And this is what it took. Tess, Jeremy, simply stunning. Renner was perfect.
Well, Renner has had a long career on board the motorcycle, but I have to say this is probably his finest moment, the thing that he's going to remember for a long, long time.
Yeah, you know, it is a shame that both of these guys can't get gold, but Renner just smoked it right there. What a great run. Congrats to him.
Some of his family, the Groms there. Don't forget, best trick is still to come tonight inside the Staples Center. Ronnie Renner getting it done for gold at the Sony Step Up. The insanity will continue.